Hi first graders, welcome to art. Today we need a piece of paper and something to write and draw with, a pen, pencil, whatever you have. Today we will be doing a drawing that is about a feeling word, or you can choose a sense word. So like hot or cold or happy or sad. There are lots of words that make us feel things. So you get to choose your word. But I'm going to do the basic drawing with you, and then when you color it, your word will be very important. So our drawing today is going to be of a blossom. So we're taking the idea of a blossom and filling our whole paper with that, and then we're going to use our word to choose our colors, or if you're just using pencil, to choose your patterns that you'll put on the blossom. Okay, so to get started, we're going to do a small circle in the middle of our paper. And I bet you've seen all these blossoms on the trees lately. I've been loving those. So I'm going to put a bigger circle now. I started on one part of my circle, I went around, and I connected back. So it's not actually a circle. It's more like an oval that connects to my first circle. This is a petal, and then same thing over here, and same thing here. All right, and then I'm going to do the same idea, but instead of connecting to my circle, I'm going to start connecting to these bigger petals now. So I'm going to go out and connect back, out and back, out and back, like that. My petals are getting bigger now. Okay, so then I'm going to keep doing the same idea around the whole paper. All right, so just keep connecting out and back, out and back, out and back. And it's okay if they're different sizes. On a real flower or blossom, the petals might be a little bit different sizes, so that's okay if ours are as well. And we're actually going to leave a little bit of sky in the background, so I'll show you what I mean. Once we get to the edges, we'll leave a little space. For the sky. So see how I'm getting close to the edges here? So now you can choose if you want to add some leaves behind there, or if you just want to leave it as a sky border. Okay, so if you wanted to add some leaves, you could just do a line like this. It's almost like what we were doing, except it comes to a point. So two curved lines coming to a point. And then you can put a line down the middle like this to make the middle of the leaf. And you can even draw some lines out to the edges like this. So I have one leaf. So then if you want, you can add a few more on the edges if you have space. If you don't want to do the leaves, that's okay. You could just leave it as a big blossom, big flower. There's another leaf, and then I think I'll do one here. Looks like I have space in all my corners. So I'm actually going to do a leaf in every corner. But it's up to you what you want to do with that. Okay, so this is our drawing. So this is our base here. I'm going to sign my name, and you go ahead and sign your name in the bottom right corner while I make a copy. And then I'll talk about how we're going to tie in our feeling word today. So I chose the word joyful. And now once you have your word, it could have been sad, angry, happy, excited. It could be, like I talked about, warm, cold, or any kind of feeling word, whether it's emotions or something you physically feel. Then you need to think about what colors go with that feeling in your mind. So for me, when I think of joyful, I think of yellow and orange. Those are the first colors that come to mind because they're kind of happy and excited colors. So that's what I'm going to use for my coloring today. And then let's say you chose a feeling that makes you think of blue. So you're going to use blue for yours. So use the color that you chose. You could choose 1 or 2 colors. We might even end up using 3 if you have leaves especially. So today I'm using paint. I've got my watercolor set, just a normal watercolor set, a cup with water, and a paint shirt that I can wipe my brush on if I need to, or you can put on your paint shirt, and then ready to go. So we'll be doing a wash today. So a wash means that you get your brush wet with no paint on it, and you just start putting water everywhere on your blossom. And you don't need to really put it on the background right now, but just on all the petals, just water. So getting our paper wet so it's ready for the paint. It will make the paint blend better when we get the paint on our paper. My paper is just regular printer paper, regular copy paper. So it's going to get wet and soggy kind of. It's going to kind of wrinkle, and that's just what this paper does. If you have watercolor paper at home, that's thicker paper that's made specifically for watercolors. And if you're using watercolor, then you could use that and your paper won't probably wrinkle as much. But if you're using what I'm using, then it's going to work out just great. Just make sure that you don't press too hard if it gets wet, because it could tear a hole in your paper. So now that my flower's wet, you can see it's kind of wrinkly now. I'm going to get more water and go into my yellow. It looks like my yellow has some green in it, so I'm going to just kind of get it wet first. Somehow there was some double dipping in there. Okay, so then we're going to get the paint and drop it on our paper. And this is kind of fun because you don't have to paint exactly in the lines. Now, by the way, if you're not using paint, if you're using crayon or oil pastel or anything else, that's great. You can do the same thing. Choose colors that remind you of your word and use whatever you have to show that feeling in your drawing. And let's say that you're only using pencil, you're not using any color, then you can still show your feeling word by choosing patterns and designs for your petals that make you feel like that feeling. So maybe if it was joyful, that was your word, and you only were using a pencil, you could do some joyful lines on each petal. Maybe it would be like, for me, like maybe some squiggly lines or some curved lines that just show a happy feeling, kind of a soft, happy feeling. Not an, if you had a stronger feeling, you were trying to show like a more angry feeling or something, you could do jagged lines. So you can still do this even if you don't have color to use. So I'm filling in my yellow first. I chose to do my yellow first because it's lighter than orange, and I'm going to do some orange on top of it. And I just like to start with my lighter color when I'm painting. because it seems easier to blend the darker color after and the lighter color first. Okay, so mine is looking. It's all wet, so it kind of looks gray because you can see through my paper right now. Hopefully by getting it wet first, it's helping your color spread faster. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to fill up our paper, almost our whole paper, with this color we chose. Okay. Almost done with my blossom here. It's a big blossom. Maybe I should call it a flower. That's pretty big for something growing on a tree. Okay, so now I have my yellow in, and now I'm going to add my second color. So hopefully you thought of a color, a main color, and then now you can take kind of an accent color. So a color that goes with that same feeling you chose, and you can just drop on some dots of it, and then you can get those wet and they'll spread. So that color will be all over your paper. So I'm going to go back and forth with my two colors, and I'm just going to dot on more of those colors all over. A lot of water and paint, and then we'll see how it blends together. I bet you've noticed how flower petals have different colors in them sometimes. Sometimes they're like lighter at the bottom and they get darker at the top, or the other way around. So making my joyful flower here. Okay, so I'm almost done with my flower because it's pretty wet and I'm going to need to let it dry. I don't want to rip my paper on accident. So now that I have my blossom, I'm looking at, I have my leaves, and I chose yellow as my main color. So I'll start with some yellow for the bottom of my leaves, but I'm also going to turn them green a little bit so they're yellowish green. So it still goes with my color, but it also still looks like a leaf. I did my yellow first for those, and then get my green. On top. So I did the lighter color on the bottom, darker color on top to start with. Oh, and whenever your brush, remember, if it starts splitting like this, you don't want to paint with it like that. Get it wet again and tap it on the side, and then you can paint. That way it won't ruin your brush, and it will help you paint more easily. It's easier to paint when your brush is stuck together like this with water. Okay, so now I have my leaves, and then I get to choose my background. I'm going to just do the sky. Just going to do some blue, and look how bright that is. So you can decide if you want to do it bright or get some water and make it a little lighter. But when we fill up our page all the way to the edges like this, remember, it helps it look more finished. So that's why I'm going to do this all the way around my paper. Maybe you wanted to do a different color than blue in your background, and that's great. especially if you already used blue for your blossom, then you might want to choose a different color. Or you could choose the same color, just make it lighter or darker so that it still looks a little different than your blossom. Okay, here's how it's coming along. If you have the chance to paint, this is just a really fun way to do it, to draw first with a pen or pencil and then to go over the top with paint. It kind of makes it so that you don't have to be as controlled with the paint. You can kind of let go and just paint for fun, which is really great. Very relaxing. Okay, so here's one more spot I need to get. Oh, my paper's very wet. I have to be careful when I move it so it doesn't rip. All right, I think I'm done. So I wash out my brush. Remember to wash your brush out. You can get the water off and make sure it's nice and stuck together before you put it away for next time. All right, let's show this. I'm gonna get this flat. It's so wet that it's sticking to the board on its own. All right, so here's my blossom, so my joyful blossom. Remember that words can convey feelings, and so can colors in art. So we got to put those together today. Hope you had a great time doing this, and have a great day. Bye.